I want to take another look at the archer classes. These have definitely been the most difficult for me so far, even though others seem to think they are quite powerful. Well, I also think so. They do seem quite powerful, but I often feel like, yeah, I'm just not good at them yet. So I want to give the most basic one of them, the Sentinel, another try. I know the Apostate, having seen a little bit of their toolkit, is really complicated. Extremely powerful, but quite hard to pilot. So I am gonna go with the Sentinel today. We have tried the Zealot, we have been not that successful, but we did get pretty far into the run before we died and have seen a lot of what the Zealot can do, but we haven't done so with the Sentinel, so that's who I'm gonna play today. Quick overview: the Sentinel is part of the Watchers of Tuathan, so the Archer classes, which start with a base HP of 60 and base damage of 6 to 10. They focus on shooting as many arrows as they can, and as all the Watchers of Tuathan, their weak statistics can be greatly buffed with thoughtful preparation. The ultimate ability is they collect energy from used arrows to unleash later as their ultimate ability. I think that just triggers a lot of phantom shots, which is also their passive skill. Whenever you play an arrow, your phantom will attack the same target, dealing 1 additional hit for 50% damage. Our current difficulty level is number 5. We have hard fights, we have painful enemies, and we have deadly bosses. So yeah, let's jump in with the Sentinel. And let's see if we can figure them out this time around. I'm also gonna play the game with the controller for a bit. Mostly because I want to see how it feels, and also because my hand hurts a bit, so it's not super comfortable to use the mouse right now. Let's see. We can toggle our currencies with the left button. We can zoom in and out. We have the nice camera control with the right stick. It is playable with the controller, yes. It actually, because of the type of like map traversal being like a 3D map, it feels pretty natural. But we'll have to see how it feels in combat. Let's see if we can bring up the menu. This is the wrong menu. Menu, where would that be? Right, left button, right button. Maybe on the triggers? Oh, right trigger gives me some tooltips. I didn't know those existed. And left trigger gives me this menu selection screen. So let's take a look at the character panel. We are the Sentinel. We have agile movements, as all the Watchers of Tuathan do. All barriers last only 1 turn. If you start the turn with negative armor, gain barrier equal to 50% of the missing armor. We also have the Phantom. Whenever you play an arrow, your Phantom will attack the same target, dealing an additional hit for 50% damage. 50% not of the damage the arrow has dealt, as far as I'm aware, but of our base damage. So we get extra hits. We also start with plus 10 max HP, apparently with plus 20, and only 10 of them are filled. That is very unexpected. Then our ultimate charges when we play an arrow or a spirit arrow, and deals a hit for each charge, and the damage depends on the number of charges we spend. It starts out at 33 but goes up to 100, I think. Our starting deck contains shots and smoke shot. It contains 2 arrow bags and a Phantom's Aid, which gives us the Shadow Shot card, a way to permanently reduce the enemy's armor. And we have maneuvers for defense, especially these feints. Gain 10 armor this turn and gain barrier equal to 100% of your armor. And we can flip those with the triangle button here on the PS4 controller or the Y button on what I assume is an Xbox controller. Yeah. We have seen feints before, we definitely have seen bow draw before. Release is multi-shot, random enemies for plus 25% damage. Multi-shot uses all our arrows with the modified effect. And arrow storm, the same for plus 50% damage. How are quests looking? We do have the gown to deliver to the protector. We should talk to the mother again, probably. The mother of Futark. And the armed wanderer wants to find a man he wants trained. Okay, let's move over here, get our quest card. We wanna buy the quest card. Pride, Greed, or Sloth. I don't think Greed is particularly good on a character that already has access to 0 cost hits for 100% damage and cares more about multiple weak hits than buffing up a single strong hit. Sloth is always nice, just gaining energy is good. Pride is a good defensive card, honestly. Just gaining 75 armor protects you very well. And the Proud Excalibur can be a very nice, like, oh shit button. Just destroying pretty much anything you aim it at. By default, that's gonna hit for 500 damage. Around 500 damage if you have nothing else buffing it up. But I am gonna go with Sloth for the energy. I think that's generally more useful. Let's also spend some money on a runestone. I really like having some starting armor. We already have some though. We can look that up in our inventory. Yeah, we have 10 armor from our upgrade, so that's already pretty good. We could go up to 20 armor with a cracked ether. I wouldn't be sad about it. In fact, that's what I want to do. Let's equip that one. The menu is a bit weird. And let's gain the 10 armor. What was the other effect of an ether again? If we were to use it in a weapon... Oh yeah, each card plate increases our damage. That could be useful as well. We might utilize this once we no longer need the armor immediately. Let's go out into the weird. And... is there a map button? No, no... Yes, there is. Nice. Okay. Let's do this fight over here first. In the weird, it's only one enemy. We should be able to deal with them. Let's see how the combat controls. We select our cards with the stick. We might just go for the sloth here. The only problem is, let's take a look. Left button at our draw pile. We only have one more block card in there. We do have the stun, but the stun doesn't work against this enemy. So I'm a bit worried about that. Oh. How would we access our alt? This would be end turn. Maybe this card? This one? This button? No, apparently not. I want to look what the alt does, but I am not currently seeing a way to do so. This changes the camera angle. Oh well. I'm just gonna play the sloth. Spend my energy. Incoming is 8. We do have the fiend, so that's taken care of. Create 20 barriers on all 20 barrier on all enemies. Yes. I'm okay with that. Let's throw some shots out. I'll just throw these out for the I just threw these out for the ult. Okay, we have a couple couple worms here, couple maggots to take care of. Draw 2 more arrows. This costs us some ultimate charge, but we will gain some back from the arrows we play. Okay. Our ultimate ability is deal 1 hit per charge. The damage of the hits increases with the amounts of charges collected. 1 to 5 charge is 1/3 of our base damage. 6 to 10 charges I think is 2/3 of our base damage, and 11 plus charges is our full base damage. So currently we would be doing 6 hits for 4 to 7 damage each. Yeah, we can't choose our cards with the directional buttons. We need to use the stick. It's slightly unusual, but I'm gonna get used to that, no problem. Simple unbreakable fiends will fully defend us, and then I think we're gonna draw some arrows with these quivers. I shouldn't have used that one on the enemy that was about to die anyways, but it doesn't really matter all that much. We could use the release for some multi-shot action. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Just get all the shots in hand and then use the release. That triggered the Phantom as well. And let's utilize our ult. There we go. That brings us to level 2. Okay. We have Rain. Multi-shot random enemies for plus 50% damage. Let's compare this to Arrow Storm. And as you can see, they are the same. Except Arrow Storm is weaker on that side and costs 2 on the on this side. Can we turn that? Refill. Oh, Rain and Refill. Okay, draw 3 cards. That is pretty nice. Weird Coated Arrow, draw 2 arrow cards and gain 25% damage this turn. Certainly sounds useful. And Hope, duplicate the next card played. And then Doom, draw 2 cards, their energy cost is reduced to 0. I'm interested in not so much Hope, but definitely Weird Coated Arrows and Rain. Rain, huh? Multi-shot random enemies for plus 50% damage. This allows us to take more expensive arrows as well, Because if we multi-shot them, we don't have to pay their cost. I'm gonna go with Rain. And here's our passive. Protective Force. Drawing additional arrows increases your armor by 5 this turn. Supersonic Shot. Each hit has a 5% chance to deal 100% more damage. And Deadly Force. Drawing additional arrows grants you plus 10% damage this turn. I like the idea of Deadly Force. We use quivers to draw extra arrows. And then we use these arrows with multi-shots for increased damage. Let's equip that in our weapon slot to increase the decrease the enemy armor. Okay, let's do this fight as well. Again, I'm gonna play the Sloth just to get the upgrade going, and we're gonna throw out a bunch of arrows for decent damage. Now drawing additional arrows will give us extra damage, so let's use this one and then that one. So we have the maximum amount of bonus damage from our... that was the wrong button. From our quivers. And then finish the enemy off. Human liver again. Cracked Gifu and here. Gonna have to take a look at those. If you play 3 or less cards in a turn, deal 1 hit to 15 to a random enemy. If you play 5 or more cards in a turn, gain 10 barrier. We will often play more than 5 cards in a turn. I really like that. Gaining plus 50% damage on the first turn of combat is also quite good. We could use the cracked Tier instead of the cracked Stan. Our fights are gonna be pretty short right now. Can we see a milestone over here? Nope, there's only a combat in this direction. And maybe a milestone in that direction. There is usually one just straight ahead. And I think I can see it.
You notice something strange. At first it looks like a glowing ball of light. But with every step you take towards this phenomenon, the weirdness thickens, changing its shape to something more and more indiscernible.
Let's move closer.
It feels familiar, yet disturbing. You see a bird flying near. One wing flaps close to the oddity, and the whole bird is immediately sucked inside and merged with this peculiar shape. You're close enough now to see the light fading away, leaving you face to face with a monster. It's hard to say if it used to be a human, an animal, or some other being native to this land. Right now it looks like a giant mass of pure weirdness, an enormous lump of undefined, colorless slime with 1,000 eyes.
Try to say something.
Try, yet nothing in your body works. You can feel your strength dissipating and your mind disintegrating.
Use a weird candle or pray. Requires 23 health. Let's find out what this does.
The monstrosity oozes back into the weirdness that birthed it.
Oh. So that's just a penalty for wandering around in the weirdness. I haven't seen anything like that before. Does kind of make sense that there would be events like that. Do we have a runestone for healing? We don't have one yet, no. What do we do with this weird stone? Milestone. Yeah, I guess we boost it. It does cover the boss, right? That seems like we can attack the boss from inside it. This one is too far in the weird though. I think we take the other path. And clear out that area first. Use some weird candles for now until we are a bit stronger. These enemies. They can be quite annoying. How do I look at the enemy stats? Up, down brings me to the items. I have the armor flute right now, for example. This one brings up the information about the card. That one brings up the passives. This is end turn, this is ultimate. This is exile, grave, draw and discard. This is the start menu. This changes the camera. Oh, it's just this simple. We can move around with the stick. How do I get more information there? I am holding the button, but it doesn't seem to do anything. I want to look at their buff. Strong aura. Negates every hit under 20. Okay. I think we keep you for last, so we stun you. Oh, stun breaks the aura. Okay, that would work well then, I guess. Let's defend. No. Draw an additional arrow. I guess that's a little bit of a damage boost. Then I think we target you down first. Draw more arrows, gaining more damage. Taking that guy out. There is Sloth. Can we afford to play it this turn? Reduce armor of all enemies by 25 for 3 turns. Draw 1 card more. I would really like to use Sloth for 3 right now. Maybe I should use it for less instead. Maybe we use it later this fight. I'm gonna defend. I could rain playing these arrows out, but random targets are really bad right now. Oh, no! That triggered the weird candle. Oops. I don't like the weird candle being on that button. Oh well. Draw 1 more card next turn. That's actually quite useful. We could do a Sloth this turn, I guess. The enemy buffed. They're now dealing 40 damage. Let's stun them. I guess we now could use the rain. The enemy can take damage. And maybe we should use our ult. With the enemy currently being vulnerable. That did seem to reduce their damage. Let's switch these unbreakable feints back because we don't have a lot of armor. The normal feints are better right now. Let's keep reducing their armor. That's how we will eventually kill them. I'm gonna play these shots just to gather ultimate charges. I will not play the arrow bag though. Let's switch this one back as well, and then I'll turn. 2 times 14 to 18. We don't have defense, but we have a huge hit in the Tainted Force. I'm gonna draw an extra arrow and play the bow draw. Reduce your armor and then finish with the Tainted Force. That worked out. Okay, we have Standoff. Draw 2 arrows, gain 50 barrier. I really like that. We also have Somersault, draw a maneuver. That's a good card in general. And Hidden Potential, gain an energy. But I think I want to build a bit more around quivers, multi-shot, and just arrows this time around, as opposed to just maneuver combos like I did with the Zealot. We will eventually need some better defense, but for now I'm gonna go with a Standoff, which is actually really good defense. It also helps with the passive we have. There's an All Mother's Altar.
The shrine has faint traces of power lingering in the air.
Have a ritual to perform. Lowered cost of legendary cards at the altar. Ooh, probably not low enough that we can actually use them. And I'm gonna get some healing here. Back to full, very nice. Let's move on to the next fight. Shaman, Abomination. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. I'm gonna focus on the Shaman, I think. We have all our shots except for the smoke shot already in hand. So we can't really use the quiver effectively here. We could use it to defend, but I'd rather keep my ultimate charges. The Sloth. This will actually give us 2 energy back, so I think I'm fine using it here. Refill, draw 3 cards. Let's use Sloth then. Oh, the Sloth. Wait, why didn't we lose our energy? Huh? Shouldn't we have spent our energy to play the Sloth and then gain 2 back with the Slothful Impulse? Weird. Let's refill. I want to draw some defense. Like these Fiends. We can go for a Phantom's Aid and arrow back. And then hold the bow before we throw out all that damage against you first, then against the A-bomb. We need both Fiends to protect us against the incoming hit. Let's do the arrow bang and the Phantom's Aid. Reduce their armor and do some damage. I'm not gonna play the smoke shot because I don't want their armor to increase again. And we should pretty easily have it with the rain here. And we get the refill again. An acid bomb, cracked Stan and cracked Win. That's for talk again.
I think the stones might be magical.
Right now I think I want common runestones actually. Calc, Gar, and Ether. Let's take a look at whether we can use one of them. Gar is never bad, just increasing the base damage. You know, that's what I'm gonna go for now. We don't have huge base damage as an archer class, so just increasing that is quite useful. If you play 5 or more cards in a turn, gain 10 barrier. Yeah, I think that's still useful. We can keep that around. That is the searching person. Oops. Let's see. We don't have enough arrows to activate our ultimate this turn. Stun an enemy, if not played next turn, gain 10 barrier. I think I'm actually gonna use this for the stun on the A-bomb. Do the Phantom's Aid. Slothful for the bow draw to gain damage. Block with the Unbreakable Fiend. And focus down the Shaman. Let's do a refill. Shaman down, very nice. Can block with an Unbreakable Fiend, and I'm gonna go for the A-bomb next. I will stun you because you're trying to reduce my energy or add bad cards to my deck, and I really don't appreciate that. Hold the bow would be a lot of damage this turn, especially if we did something like hold the bow into Arrow Storm. We could play our ult after that. I think I'm gonna try this. Currently these arrows are dealing 20 to 29. Our base damage is 9 to 13, 125% of that. And the Arrow Storm adds another 50% to that. That would add another like 4 to 7. So 24 to 36 is what I'm expecting here. For each shot. Didn't quite see what the actual numbers were there, but let's use our ult to finish the fight. Another level, another passive to gain. Draw 2 arrows and gain 30 armor for 3 turns. That's a pretty good quiver. Draw 0 weak shots, 1 for each 2 ultimate charges. This one is quite bad, I think. Bolas shot, deal 1 hit for 50% damage and stun the enemy. Oh, that could be quite nice too. I'm gonna go for the close quarter combat right now though. Right? Maybe I should go for the Bolas shot. A hit and a stun. It does trigger our ultimate charge. At the end of every turn, create barrier equal to 25% of your armor. Wow! After using a quiver, gain 10 armor this turn. Each hit has a 10% chance to reduce enemies' armor by 10. Ooh, these are all pretty good. Extra effects on hits are quite nice because of our Phantom. That's an additional hit with every shot. This just protects us against small hits pretty consistently, just by having some armor. And this does help quite a bit with armor. I'm gonna go for the offensive one. I wanna do massive number of shots every turn. And have that be my offense. And if we can keep reducing their armor while we do that, that's nice.
You've met him before, but something has changed since then. He sits on a stone with slumped shoulders, and his head droops over a fading weird candle.
You again. Be gone. Don't tempt me to resume my search. I haven't found them. There's nothing but madness around us. I'm too tired to go on.
You need to proceed with your journey.
You tell him about your meeting with the witch. He looks at you with desperation and confusion on his face. Then, although you don't know why, you hear your voice changing.
I'm here, and I see you, friend.
It's the witch speaking through you.
What? What's going on?
I know what you've been looking for. I know that you didn't find it. And I know that it's lost forever.
The man buries his face in his hands.
They're gone. You're alone now. But that doesn't mean that you have to be lonely forever.
He gazes up at you as if you must be his savior. You have no idea what's happening, much less what to say. You can muster only a few paltry platitudes, sounding a bit like,
You'll definitely find someone else. At least you're alive. Or maybe that's how it was meant to be. Let's say you'll definitely find someone else.
even though you realize that these words wouldn't comfort anyone in ordinary circumstances, the man does seem a little bit happier. Suddenly, he begins disintegrating into a cloud of weirdness.
The bottle.
Before the witch's voice stops ringing in your ears, you realize you've already taken out the empty bottle she gave you. You've been wandering through the weirdness so long that it doesn't even surprise you when the cloud of smoke flows into the bottle.
Now get back to me.
Oh? We're immediately back?
Yes, I can see that you're back. And I'm delighted to be sure that you're actually real. But we'll get back to that. Now let's get back to the poor soul trapped in that vessel.
She gently takes the artifact out of your hands and chants something over it. You can feel the weirdness becoming thicker. Then you hear a voice. It doesn't belong to a human.
Easy. Don't be afraid. Come over. I promised you wouldn't be lonely anymore.
Her voice is gentle. It's as if she's trying not to scare something away.
Here, you won't find what you're looking for. But I found you a new home. A new master.
You hear something running towards you.
Here, meet your new friend.
The wolf stops by your feet and demands cuddles.
Aww. You need to explain this to me. Also, this man was a wolf?
The man you met wasn't a man. He was a purpose. Some time ago, he might have been a wolf, or a dog, or anything else. But Wyrdness gave a different shape to his desire. His desire was simple. To find the family he belonged to. And now that he's found a new family, he's finally back to a more suitable self. Congratulations, you saved a soul.
NPC saved.
But this is my time to leave. Find me again and we'll talk about visiting the village. You see? I remembered.
Okay. Oh. Oh, now I have a dog. And apparently I can pet them. Oh. Cute little doggo. We can summon a dog. It looks so lonely when you leave it outside of the battlefield. Summon a doggy companion. Huh. It's an ability too, so we can play that whenever we want to. Reduce the damage of all enemies. We don't have any defensive cards. Do we just make it rain? Reduce the damage of all enemies by 20%. And then... I guess we'll have to wait with the dog. Alright, we gain some barrier anyways. I forgot about that. Wait, why did we... Ah yeah, because we played 5 or more cards. That is... From the cracked Gifu. If you play 5 or more cards in a turn, gain 10 barrier. Well, time to do a standoff, I suppose. I want to summon the dog. Oh. We'll see, your faithful companion. He's a little special. Base almost 0, base damage 4 to 4. Does it just activate automatically? At least that's what I'd assume. Let's do a Phantom Shade. I'm gonna take out one of you. Stun that guy. We can't kill you, so I might as well let you explode, I guess. Oh, we'll see. Pet the dog. It looks so cute, you can't stand to pet it. Pet the dog to boost its stats and make it happy. Ability. Well, we definitely have to do that. Yeah. Gives 25% damage and 25 health. Also seems to heal him to full. Not bad. Certainly not bad. Arrow bag release. You know, let's stun the one enemy that's attacking first before we play the release. So that we don't take damage. Then again, I am gonna gain the barrier, right? Yes. Okay. Let's take that one out. Play a refill. Standoff is great. Let's stun the buffing enemy actually. Do a shot and finish with petting the dog. Have to pet the dog. Stun a random enemy or gain 5 barrier. Let's do a shadow shot against you and then a bolus shot, I guess. And we keep petting. How strong can we make the dog? Sitting for 7 now. That's not that exciting. Let's shadow shot you. We can actually kill you with a smoke shot. We pet the dog as usual. And I think we finish this with the ultimate. We can merge an ether. Increases armor by 17. That's quite a good amount. Yeah. Let's equip that. Although the 10 barrier after playing 5 cards is pretty good as well.
Good day, stranger.
No, probably not. Yeah. Not really interested in your wares. We can use our wealth on more useful stuff in general. That's the Treasure Guardian. I'm gonna pop a new weird candle for them. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, this fight. This fight has become more deadly for sure. What is this? Reduce armor of all enemies by 25 until end of combat. Or draw 2 more cards. Yeah, we definitely want the armor reduction. We also need to focus on you. Are you attacking us? Enemy intends to attack its ally and buff. Yep, you are not attacking us. Definitely fire everything at you. Didn't get an armor reduction. And let's use an arrow bag. Stun you. So you don't buff. It's decent damage. Finally, we defend and summon our loyal companion. This is a pretty bad hand to have Rain and Arrow Storm in. Let's use the Shadow Shot. I'm not gonna use Rain or Arrow Storm in this fight. We wanna focus down the boss. That means stunning you and giving you some armor is not a problem. And let's pet the doggo. Draw some arrows. Take some shots at the boss. Stun you. We can't quite get the kill, huh? Oh, we're pretty close. With that much negative armor, maybe the doggo could finish the fight. Actually, let's use our ultimate. That will do. Some more livers. Piercing shot, deal 1 hit for 125. Pierce. Pierce ignores armor above 0. With Rancid Battlefield, reduce enemy armor by 25 until the end of combat and gain 25 armor for 3 turns. The flip side, if I remember things correctly, is just double the effect for double the cost. Pretty good. Quick dodge, gain barrier equal to 200% of your armor. And dodge, gain barrier equal to 100% of your current armor now and at the start of your next turn. That's a really good defensive card. I'm gonna pick that one up. We're gonna take some more shots eventually, but not right now. Not if we have such a good card that we can take instead.
You found what was protected by this beast. A stash of gold when you filled your pocket.
New armor slot or new weapon slot? We don't need that many more weird stones at the moment. Armor or weapon? I think I go with weapon. I do have a few runes that I would like in the weapon. Probably not Gifu. We are often playing more than 3 cards in a turn. We are reducing the armor quite often already. Cracked Wing could be good, 50% damage whenever we stun, for example with the Bolas shot. And Cracked Card could be good, just drawing an extra card on the first turn helps us get off the ground a bit easier. Yes, we follow this path. take out another enemy over here. Oh,
Come, train if you feel like it. These may be mere illusions, but they hit and kill. Just like the real versions.
I found a way to help the sizable knight.
This isn't exactly what I've asked you to do, is it?
His tone makes it clear that his intentions weren't quite as pure as he first made them seem. He looks at you with furious anger in his eyes, and a moment later, he sighs and speaks softly.
Do what you want, but talk with me no more.
Oh. That sucks. Well, we'll probably find out if we continue with this quest. Hit me with all you've got. That seems pretty doable. What is our weird card? One hit for 9 to 14 or gain 10% damage. Let's summon out Doggo. Let's also bow draw to gain some damage. I will use the Sloth. Get a Phantom Shade. And make it rain. What are our current runes again? Damage, armor, and yeah, draw. Right. Oh, with 10 HP. I would like to play Standoff, so I'll play the Phantom Shade first. Throw that out against you. And we use the Standoff to draw into 2 shots. One for you and one for you. We might take some damage here, so I am gonna quick dodge. Okay, the enemy's damage is normalized. I am glad, because that was quite scary. Reduce their armor. Do a stun. If we play Smoke Shot, we reduce their armor permanently by 25, because that's how stun on stunned enemies work. You reduce their armor instead, but we'll give them 50 armor for a turn. I guess that's okay. So they have 25 armor extra this turn, but afterwards they will have reduced armor instead. Let's play dodge, that's certainly gonna be good. I'm gonna go for the Phantom's Aid and some defense from the quiver. And now their armor is pretty low. I have a bunch of arrow bags in his hand. We do have the Arrow Storm. That would be pretty good damage. What's the weird card doing? Increase random cards cost by 1 or reduce enemy damage. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Charge our ult here. They split. We buff our Doggo. And just use the Smoke Shot for an ult charge. Can utilize the bowler shot. Oh, whoops. Accidentally used the weird candle again. It's on a really bad button. I wanted to move left in the card selection and I figured I'd use the direction pads, but yeah, left on the direction pad is a weird candle. Let's use an arrow bag. Reduce your armor a bit. And then go for some damage against you. Incoming 24. We have 27 armor, so this defends us quite well. We do have release or rain available here. I could instead just hold a bow. Lose 25 armor for 3 turns is a problem though. Let's make it rain. We're almost up to our full ultimate. We do of course spend some of that to play these quivers, but we should be able to reach it this turn. What's the Tainted Force? Draw 2 cards more or reduce all the armor of all enemies. It splits that enemy. We prevent you from buffing. And I think it's time for the ult. Actually, I will reduce the armor of everyone before I play it. Oh, pretty effective. Very effective, in fact. We need to get a standoff to defend ourselves this turn. Prevent you from buffing. Take a worm out. Worm. Well, let's buff our Doggo. This is going quite well. Refill. Didn't draw many arrows there. Split that one. Play a quick dodge for defense. Draw the arrows first, because that increases my damage. We are doing some solid damage. Let's do an arrow bag. And a Phantom's Aid. Release. We play this and then we try to finish this. That worked. Stack Father's Charm just in case we need it. What's this? Gown for the Protector. Oh yeah, right. Cracked Guard, glad to have it.
As the monster disappears in a cloud of smoke, you
Congratulations.
Polished Hagel. Haven't we seen Hagel recently? Was that the one that gains strength whenever you kill an enemy? Oh yes, it is. I think that's gonna replace our armor rune. We could also use it for damage, but I think we have... Well, we have some ways to gain damage. Quite a few actually. So, yeah, using it for armor might be the better choice. fiends for our defense. Summon the Doggo. And try to get these enemies killed as quickly as possible. Ah, not enough energy to play the bowler's shot. Looks like we don't have the necessary damage to kill the big guy. Exploding guy. So instead we dodge. Dodge is 24 block, that's enough. And then I think we pet the dog. Some worms spawned. I think this is a pretty good turn to hold the bow. Giving us a big damage. Very solid damage, in fact. Doggo gets a kill. Deal 1 hit for enough. There we go. And Phantom Archer is contributing a lot of damage. Oh, a healing potion. Nice. Future Shot. Deal 1 hit for 50% damage and reduce the cost of the next maneuver by 1 energy. Wow. Arrows of the past. Draw 1 arrow from the grave. Discard all cards. Gain an ultimate charge for each card discarded. That transforms into... Gain 2 ultimate charge for every discarded card. 2 cost though. I like the Future Shot a lot. Each hit dealt by the Phantom reduces target's armor by 5 until the end of combat. Wow. Each hit dealt by the Phantom reduces target's damage by 5% this turn, or increase your health by 40. I think we take the Terrifying Presence. That's gonna be a lot of damage boost. We are gonna reduce their armor down to almost nothing. And by that I mean almost minus 500%. That is pretty strong. If you compare that to the one that gives you 10% chance to reduce the armor by 10 for every shot, this one will do it by 5 for every shot you play. So yeah, that's much better. The other one is, like, this is 2.5 times as strong. Although with arrows that deal multiple hits or non-arrow attacks like your ult, the other one catches up a bit, but still, this one seems very strong. This will block for us. Incoming is 15-20. Yeah, that's already enough. Do we Arrow Storm? Phantom State Arrow Storm? I think we do. It's pretty okay. We can kill the left enemy. Right? Yes. And freeze the other attacking enemy, and you know what? End this sooner rather than later. Future Shock kills you. Don't wanna flip Rain. Yeah, kinda like the draw. Okay. The elderly archer.
The man greets you as if nothing has happened.
I have to ask, what happened to you?
When I was younger, only a teenager really, I was one of the guards in an asylum not far from Tintagel. On the dark morass, we were stationed there to ensure the plague wouldn't spread. You know how it is with all these infected people. Since they're destined to die of the Red Death, they just don't care what happens to the rest of us.
And what did you do to deserve
I was
this?
supposed to protect the healthy, but at one point I couldn't. I got soft and I couldn't keep up with my duties. I couldn't sacrifice the few for the many. I did save a group of infected people, but I let the plague spread.
Oh.
Now you see the nature of my crime.
You think about his deeds and realize that if he was just a teenager back then, he must have been sitting here for a long, long time.
What is good for the many should always outweigh what is good for the few. Or well, you show compassion. It backfired, but it counts. Let's go with that one.
Maybe I did. But many people, maybe even ones more innocent than those I saved, died because of my choice.
Ask for a sample of his roots for the scientist.
You explain that someone in your village is interested in his condition. You ask for a sample of the roots which link him to the flame. With a puzzled stare, but without the slightest hesitation, he cuts off a chunk of his leg and hands it to you. He falls silent. You know there's more that he wanted to ask you, but you can clearly see that he's not in the mood for further conversation.
Let's sit by the fire. I wanna forget, I think. There are a few cards in this deck that are really not great. How do I scroll? Why? What? It doesn't scroll automatically. Well, the card I wanna cut is probably Release. Bow Draw is not great, but it's usable. Release seems pretty weak. 25% damage is not really good enough payoff for a multi-shot effect on random enemies. And we have the other card that does it much better. Other than that, Bow Draw, yes, I don't like it too much, but it's okay. Arrowbacks are useful. Smoke Shot is useful. Yeah, the Release is probably the first one to go. Lost 8 HP, but we got the box sample. Okay. Let's take a look at the map again. There's only these two fights. Hi, Cheese Darkash. Welcome. I'm doing well. Okay. Let's move on. Take out these two enemies and then move to the boss. We have Future Shot into Refill. I'm gonna go for the Summoner first. Okay, I think that's worth a Bow Draw. We also want to play the Feints to block for us. I'm gonna go for the Phantom's Aid. I will even Slothful Impulse to summon the Doggo. Reduce your armor. And then go in for the kill. I'm gonna use the Smoke Shot just for the extra charge of my ult and the Phantom hit. Even though we increased their armor with that, it shouldn't matter too much. I gain 20% damage this turn, sure. There we go. Take that one out pretty easily. Cracked Gar. We can merge them. Nice. That increases our base damage by another 2. By upgrading that. Let's take a look at our Hagel. Provides 22 armor now, so it has left the Ethel well behind. You know what? I'm actually gonna use this Ethel in the weapon slot now. 8% damage for each card blade. That's pretty significant with how this character works.
What am I doing here?
Seamstress.
Where?
Let's remove a card. What's our next removal gonna be? And why is it hold a bow? I feel like it's just a bad way to buff our damage. Too expensive, not really worth. And the downside of losing the armor is pretty impactful if we use the stronger effect. Okay. And then we go over here. Oh, the Armed Wanderer.
So, what did you learn today?
Learn a new skill or forget a skill. Get 1 out of 3 advanced cards. Let's take a look. Oh, it's just a normal card pick. Overdraw. Gain 100% damage this turn. You know. That, for example, is better than draw a bow. It's the same thing without the downside. And it's the stronger side. And the other side is even better. So if we want to use our damage, then that... Ah. I wasted a weird candle again. Corrosive weapon, draw 2 toxic shots. Deal 1 hit for 50% damage and reduce target's armor by 50 until the end of combat. That's a lot of armor reduction. That's 100%. We already have pretty good armor reduction though, so it's not my priority. Swift movement is a good card to keep our armor up, for sure. But I think I want to go with overdraw here. I maybe should have gone for a card removal instead, but I think it's okay. We have... most of the cards in our deck are now pretty decent. I think we focus on the Shaman first. We do need some defense. I'm gonna go for a quick dodge first. So we'll use the impulse to summon a Doggo. And we go for the Shaman. And I expect to get a kill with this arrow bag. I'm gonna play the smoke shot. It's 25 armor for the enemy, but actually just 20. And we get an ultimate charge and a little bit of damage out. Might not really be worth it, but I think it's good enough. Let's do the overdraw. Into Phantom's Aid. Rain. Can we kill with that? I think so. Eol. Every 3 turns you always deal maximum damage. Maximum damage. How much is that worth? Our damage variant seems to be like from 66% of our base damage to 133%. So like 2/3 to 4/3. So our average damage is 100%. So dealing maximum damage increases our damage from an average of 100% to an average of 133%. Or from 3/3 to 4/3. That's 1/3 of a damage gain. Every 3 turns we gain... our damage is times 1.33. That is a pretty good rune, actually. So that's an average damage increase of 11% per turn. That might not seem like a ton, but especially if we can like line it up to use most of our attacks on that turn with the use of quivers and stuff like that, maybe trigger our ultimate on that turn, then it becomes much better. And also it's multiplicative. Most damage boosts in this game are not multiplicative, but that one is. That much is clear. Furious Overdraw. That just seems great. Like 200 damage is a lot. 200% damage. We don't have the Slothful, but we do have the Future Shot. Doesn't matter who we target because the enemies have redirect. And do the refill. Okay, that's a lot of shots we have. And they hit really hard. They hit insanely hard. We wanna play another one. Yeah, the Furious Overdraw card is insane. I'm glad we took it. Cracked Stand. Thank you. We merge these. So we can now increase our max HP by 50 or reduce the armor of all enemies by 17. Both things I'm not that keen on doing. I think we saved the health fountain for after the boss fight. This is the warband. Oh, and they gained a 5th member. Another cutthroat, so another damage dealer. We have the tank, he redirects damage. Has a bunch of armor. Ran himself is the leader, he buffs and attacks. We have a healer and we have 2 enemies that are just doing damage constantly. This is not the best turn to overdraw. We only have Shot and Phantom's Aid as attacks. I definitely want to do the Phantom's Aid. I don't think I need more than 1 defensive cards. So a simple dodge should do it. That will also protect us quite well for the next turn. I could still overdraw shot. I guess it's worth. So we have the Furious Overdraw in the deck as well. And then we start focusing down the tank because we can't target anyone else. We don't even have a maneuver in this hand. That's a bit sad. I want to do the smaller hits first. Actually, if we stun, we can target different enemies. We already have the defense we need, so we can go with the arrow bag and use fewer ultimate charges. We'll also do the Phantom Quiver here. I will stun you. And I think I'll try to take down one of the aggressive enemies this turn. That worked out quite well. You are healing, you're just attacking. You are debuffing though. I'm gonna stop you from doing so. Why are our costs reduced? I'm not entirely sure. Oh! Oh, it's the shot that reduces the next maneuver cost. Nice. Reduce armor for 25 this turn. I think I'll use it. I will also now summon the Doggo. The multi-shot doesn't matter if the enemies have redirect, we just hit the correct target anyways. And we can Slothful Impulse to block if we want to, and I think we should. Hi Casual Ben Twitch, welcome! How was your stream? Ah, this tank! They are tanky. You are preparing a big attack, so stunning you this turn doesn't do anything. Let's throw the stun on you, who you're trying to debuff. The non-damage hits don't get redirected, but then the damage hit from the Phantom does. First full boss run with Summoner and Golem was great. Sentinel after that, pretty bad. Now I'm going with Pathfinder, it's interesting. My run is going pretty well. I had a similar experience, like Weird Hunter, I defeated the normal boss pretty easily. Then I tried Sentinel, that didn't really work out, so I'm revisiting it now. I have done pretty well with the Summoner and the Necromancer, as well as the Berserker. And I have tried a Salad run that was going pretty well until I suddenly died to a one-shot. Which is only fitting because that was the way I killed most enemies as well. Just building up damage and then one-shotting them with a single giant arrow. This one is more about spamming tons of arrows. Let's see. We could use the opportunity to target someone else if we stun the tank. But I think at this point we are just focusing down the tank. Their armor is starting to get low enough that that is actually an appealing option and we don't have to defend this turn. Sentinel is pretty hard, I think. You play with controller. Yeah, I tried out the controller's support for the controls for the first time today, and it's pretty good. The only thing that really bothers me is the weird candle being on the left direction button. So I often click it on accident while trying to maneuver around in the menus or something. So I wasted a bunch of weird candles, but that's just getting used to it. Other than that, it feels pretty good. But yeah, usually I play with mouse and keyboard, so. Can you remap? I haven't looked into that. I don't want to do it on stream, but I will probably look into it after the stream is done. Let's go with the armor reduction and then just spam shots at you. We do the future shot as well. I don't need to defend, so we can keep the cost reduction for the next turn. Oh, a refill. That seems good. There's a Furious Overdraw. We have enough charges to play a standoff as well. Do we have enough energy for all of that? The standoff already defends us, yes. Let's go for it. Furious Overdraw for 200% damage boost. Then we throw out all the arrows. I think a simple shot will be enough for you. Not quite for you though. I want to start reducing the armor of the boss. Do we take out these other enemies at all? Or do we just focus our damage on the boss and occasionally stun the other enemies? I think that's what we do actually. Oh no! Our Doggo has taken some damage. We need to pet him. Standoff is still great. Yeah, let's pet the Doggo to heal him back to full. Buff him up. And then unload on the boss. We are doing pretty solid damage right now. And let's stun actually the healer, because keep the cost reduction for the next turn, and then I think we should be able to win. Unless we have like a terrible draw. We don't. We have rain, although rain is random targets. Let's draw some arrows. That might solve our problem. Yeah, I think we're better off playing these arrows manually, and we already win with them, so no real reason to do anything else. Yeah, I will certainly not let them kill the Doggo. Nice. That's the first boss down. And the toxic shot one, I don't think we need it, but it's a lot of armor reduction on a single card. I'm not sure how good hidden potential is. The problem with this card is once it flips, you have to pay 2 energy and lose 50 armor to flip it back to hidden potential. So I think it's not really for this class. Reduce enemies damage by 25% and gain 10% damage for 2 turns. That could actually be something. It flips into... It is Fiend, Fiend, Fiend and Strike. Yep. Deal 1 hit for 100% damage and reduce enemies damage by 50% for 2 turns. Gaining the 10% damage is nice, but overall I feel like this card is slightly too weak. If anything, I think Corrosive Weapon is best here. I'm gonna take it. We do have a decent number of ultimate charge generation with how the current deck currently is. So
like then.
I think I'm gonna go with passive skills again. I don't think I want to fight the final boss again this time around. At the start of every turn, gain 25% for the next hit. Meh. If I pay 2 or less cards in the turn, next turn gain 100% damage. Every 10 card played in one combat increases your damage by 10%. Yes, yes, power circulation seems like exactly the thing we want. 10% damage until end of combat whenever we play 10 cards, so that will slowly ramp up our damage. And I think we pay a visit to the fountain here. Drink. And then we take a risk just for a fight. We get to heal to full after this fight anyway, so it's pretty low risk to take here. Can we get to one of the quivers? We can't. Let's focus on the debuffing one first. Stun them as well. Here's a quick dodge. And summon. We just casually have... actually I should use the overdraw here. Oh yes. Is it rain just lethal? There we go. The multi-shot cards seem to have multiplicative damage increase. That doesn't seem to be like just add to your damage this turn. But I'm not entirely sure. It's pretty hard to read the numbers that come out of this.